Okay, we buzzed through turn 18 into 19, and it was pretty much a wash for a turn. Uh, the only thing that happened was the Spanish artillery managed to rout this thing, but with Bernard right there, and yeah, he might get killed being up there, he's able to rally it fairly easily. The artillery doesn't go running when it's routed. Let's see what else. We had a little bit of a swing of this unit to get more of a flank fire against the Spaniards there. Moved up a little bit here, I think. Maybe not. We're still in charge, so not sure why he didn't, if he didn't. Oh, maybe he did and they recovered. I don't know, or maybe I screwed up. Some of the units kind of struggling there, but for the most part, people are just rallying their stuff. You have, Duke Charles back here trying to grab what he's got. The rest of his command is just fleeing up, and these guys go up the hill. Formation breaks. That's just one of the factors in this game. Is you can't even route really effectively. I mean, when you're routed units, you don't have to worry about formation, but you can't retreat effectively without losing your formation to the point where you can't keep retreating. Swedes up here on the hill, I think they're doing a little bit better. I don't know. But for the most part, yeah, just trying to recover. Not able to get out of rally here. Not able, I don't know if he tried. Not able to get out of received charge here. He had a desire to get out of it. He's finally able to return fire, though, with this thing. It's not in Hedgehog anymore, so it's able to do something about those dragoons, which means they probably won't last there too long. Alright, Swedish firepower down here is just raining into these poor Spanish units. This one especially, they tried doing a flank attack out. Well, here I use salvo fire in the hope of breaking this thing, but here I'm not using it. That's one of those Tercios units. I'm not the specially trained ones. I'm not willing to risk the failure of salvo fire because this table's pretty good on its own. Salvo fire is usually kind of a question. Hey, do I want to, maybe I'll get more hits on them, maybe less. But for the most part, that's pretty much a wash. The big thing I'm getting is a morale check. This guy's got good morale. He's probably not going to break. I did something like, let me think, 4 casualties in one shot because of a double formation hit there. Just heavy losses on that thing. Good chance that it would have broken from that. It rolled low enough that that wasn't an issue. But when that goes, there's more units ready to fill in the line there, basically. So I don't know how much the Swedes can really hope to push against this, but they are causing a lot of casualties. We just finished them, and then we're over to the receive charge up here. I didn't take a counter battery fire with that guy. He got somewhat hurt. He can take it now. Doesn't matter either way, really. At end of the line, we move to turn 20. After that initial exchange of gunfire, everything else is pretty much rallying except for these guys up on the hill. And this is not necessarily a positive thing, right? These guys were stuck in rally, but they managed to shoot somebody into the dead pile. Over here, they couldn't get out of rally and can't really get anywhere or do anything. But up here, we've switched into make ready. Kept Bernard up here to continue rallying those infantry to prevent them from screening the gunfire. I still got a little channel I can fire that artillery for, but the rest of it's moving forward and about ready to run into a charge, just to see if they can break things, because just 2-3 units in the front, and I've got some reserve back there, but 2 Swedish units in the front doesn't seem like enough to handle all these heavy infantry. I'm looking at one heck of a win here for the Swedes, at least in my mind. Points may not hold it up. Back here, Duke Charles is putting together his army. He's been able to turn it around, at least the infantry, by getting this guy into command. Oh, he's not quite in command. Oh, well, I'll leave it be. Otherwise, they would have been going up the hill, which isn't terrible, but whatever. Anyway, these are going to be able to recycle and come back in and threaten the Swedes, though. That's their one hope. All right. And pushing into turn 21. And we see this battle is getting quite manageable at this point. Of course, there's a lot of dead. Okay, Swedes have pushed forward with both their big infantry units. These guys advancing. We see even some salvo fire from the Imperials there, trying to take a last chance to break this unit. The Imperial Army wasn't able to get a lot of activations. They're turning some of this heavy to face those dragoons, but they're so shot up at this point with the -5 casualty penalty that they don't have a terribly better chance of hurting the dragoons than the dragoons do of hurting them up there. We actually saw this cav here, and that's the leader that we have out of play. Let me put a die there to remind me that I've done that already. He got knocked off. He made an attack in the rear of this unit over here, and he was repulsed. He attacked at like +4 and was sent back down the hill. That's a problem for him. This cav unit back here, which is under Bernard over here, has managed to get itself into make ready and is starting to stream around to present problems over on the Imperial rear as well. And this is a real problem. I've got this infantry force under Duke Charles, which is curving around, ready to do this big slam against the Swedes here, if I can get it into effect. But this is my only cav, and all the Swedish cav is on the other side. That's always a problem. Cav is very powerful in this game, although, as we saw, not tremendous. For example, here, hitting this very badly hurt unit, 8 hits on a 10-point unit, it still got repulsed. So it's not a perfect solution to anything. All right, onward. Here on turn 21, the Swedes have moved forward with both their infantry forces and plowed away that smaller Spanish heavy infantry. Got pushed over here, got taken down by firepower. This unit is actually the one that pushed it away. It meleeed it and didn't manage to destroy it. Elsewhere, these guys been opening fire. I think they got rid of one unit in this turn, but then they've been really facing this one, and this one's been giving them a hard time. Then they got the Fuggers here. Bernard moved forward with his forces. He wants to, actually he has a chance to, he wants to get them out of open order in order to engage or at least defend better. No, yeah, he does. I got 3 activations, so he's fine. On the second activation, when he moved up here, and in fact he has to move another space forward. No, when he moved up here. The artillery opened up here and broke that formation of the Catholics there, reducing some of the threat from that side. He's still outnumbered. We want to break the hill before really facing these. So I'm kind of putting this here as a defensive barrier. The artillery, I may have to get that moving again, just because it's not going to see fire as firing lane as long as the Swedes have that covered there. I'm not sure where to get it. Maybe down here or something. Who knows? But now we're on to the Swedish cav, and then after that goes, well, after half of that goes, then we can do the main Imperial force. Now the cav did something interesting here. They swung around, got themselves into a charge formation, or charge orders, and swung out behind this. And ended up, I don't know if that affected you. Wow, this is becoming really problematic. Ended up hitting behind here. They didn't actually strike, but enough to hedgehog the infantry. That creates a lot of problems. Now for the Imperials, they managed to get themselves into a charge. Now they tried to preempt, or whatever it's called in here, and failed. So they only got 1 activity, but they moved forward, struck this. There was some fire exchanged there, and then the standard fire along here, which is kind of hurting this Swedish unit to no question. But I also charged up to this, and I should have a momentum marker on there, but I didn't place it because I'm not planning on attacking. And the Swedes certainly aren't coming back. The problem with this is, yeah, I've got +1 for hitting for type. I've got a lot of size. Bonus puts me up to +3. The hill doesn't hurt me. But I've got a morale penalty, and they could fire a pistol. And that would put me down to +1, which means I may not win that battle. And even if I do win it, I'm going to be coming down here, hitting this hill. I'll be formation shaken for meleeing, and then formation broken for going down the hill if I win. That's a real problem. The only win success that I can accept there is if I get a particular result. There's this defender, retreat, and attacker cannot advance, and that's fairly, as likely as anything, right? But because it's a flat table for the most part, except at the edges. But I just don't want to lose a good unit that's holding the edge of the line here. Force their cav to keep going behind there. I don't know. I was hoping this hit would do something more. I actually have a melee there if I want it. I don't have a momentum there. Let me think if I want that. This guy looks pretty good. He's 17 strength points. I'm 17 strength points. He'd have a +1 due to his something, right? Morale. The salvo fire wasn't against this, so it's not, and wasn't immediately just before. That gives I believe, a morale. Yeah, that gives a morale bonus too. I could have salvo fired in to even that up. I don't like that. I want to stay and fight, even though the Swedes have better firepower. The biggest thing was I fired at this and hoped to hit it, and I did. I caused a casualty, and almost a miracle. They rolled a 1. A 0 or 1 is the only way they can survive. Otherwise, they're off the board. They held their morale, though. Routed unit. But that's a big deal, because that was a big unit that I wouldn't want to lose. In fact, I kind of routed under iffy circumstances. So now we're going to be going on to the second cav unit, which is the one trying to reform here. And then finally this unit, which is still in rally. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess it is. Alright. I'm wondering if I moved forward with them illegally. Who knows? And that puts us at the end of the line here. Not sure what happened. That cav trying to reform a little bit its infantry. Swinging around the edge here. We got the big heavy infantry that's routing over there. And of course the Duke's forces are trying to position themselves so that they can make the strike in. That one artillery blast just didn't do much. But the Imperials are out of artillery at this point. I know you can see some peeking out. Those are all disabled, captured, something or another. Whatever. So Swedes down to 1. Imperials all out. And, well, I'll move us into turn 22, and I'm going to load this one up.